We are live! Welcome to Master of the Game. I am Juce, and tonight we are playing Dragon Age, the Dalish Curse, I believe, with our wonderful GM, Draven, here. This is a game by Green Ronin Publishing. It's a 3d6 system, with one of the d6s being a different color as a stunt die, and you get to do cool stuff when you roll doubles, as long as you succeed on the roll. So, if you're new here, please give us a subscribe and a like. And with that, I'll let Draven take it away.
All right, thank you. I just want to make sure I wasn't muted for a second there. Sorry, just had to deal with something. So I'm the Draven. I'm going to be the GM today. So just to catch up what we've done so far within the Dalish Curse adventure. The group was tasked by Taryn Logain to go to the village of Ventiver and sort of smooth out tensions that the locals have after a run-in with a group of Dalish elves. There was sort of a confrontation during Ventiver's Harvest Festival that they got into with a group of Dalish, and since then they've been convinced that the Dalish have put some sort of curse on the region. There's talk of strange creatures about and things of that nature. On your way from Warden to Ventiver, you were attacked by a group of mercenaries that seemed to be hyper-focused on one party member in particular, but beyond that, you're not quite sure. You also ran into a pair of interesting dwarves, a father-son duo that you got to spend a little bit of time with. That one of them may or may not be a little slow, but really handy with enchantments.
Enchantment.
And that Juce may have shared some really unsettling images of on his social media over the last little bit.
Nah, he's just posing. It was the swimsuit edition of Sandal.
Yeah. I took 1d4 psychic damage from that picture.
Something. But anyway, after meeting with them, Sandal did give you a runestone that you can have added on to someone's weapon at some point in the near future, hopefully.
I believe he gave it to Honora.
I have it, yes. It is a runestone of devastation +1.
Yep. He gave it to Honora, but anyone can use it. He just decided to give it to the lady. Because he's Sandal, and he did that swimsuit pose, so.
He's a gentleman. Honora would have loved that swimsuit pose.
Oh, I'm sure.
She did. I didn't.
Would have been all aflutter. So as you were approaching Ventiver, you came across one of the farmsteads. So Ventiver grows a large amount of grapes. They're almost exclusively vineyards, very much into wine producing. And you discovered that the family at this particular farm had been slaughtered. You came across their corpses, and you found an unconscious elven woman that bared similar wounds to the one that killed the farmers. Taking her to the village of Ventiver, you tried to slip in sort of in the middle of the night. However, it appears as if some people may have noticed that you were bringing in an unconscious elven woman, because elves in Dragon Age have a very distinctive facial features and characteristics that are hard to mask. And
I used a cloak.
You did. You did. But and when we last left off, there's actually seems to be a group of torch-wielding, pitchfork-carrying villagers making their way somewhat angrily towards the very same tavern that you guys were in. And that's where we left off. I believe at this point we had both Guillaume and Valeria were actually outside. They were following the individuals right before the mob sort of started to take shape.
Yeah, they were knocking on doors or something, weren't they? And
yeah, they were kind of rousing. They were rousing the mob.
I can't remember. Do you remember where I was?
You were still in the tavern, or in the at the end.
Downstairs at the tavern.
I want to say you were downstairs.
Okay.
Honora was upstairs with the elven woman. Okay. I remember that specifically. But your character, you could be anywhere within the tavern at this point.
Okay. I'll probably be waiting for Guillaume and Valeria to come back. Is where I would probably be. Before we get into the game, I do want to quickly say we will be giving away at the finale of this. We'll be giving away a free Dragon Age bundle. So if you see us sharing Dragon Age on the Master of the Game Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whether it's a game post or just the graphic. Give us your favorite moment from that session, and you will be entered to win. Also, we decided that if anyone wants to do really cool character art for our characters, that'll get you 2 entries, just because why not? So there you go. Any artists out there, you can apply to win. And we'll show off your art in the finale. All right.
That should be interesting.
Right? If somebody does it. Who knows? Nobody will probably submit anything. Oh, but no stick figures.
Oh, that rules me out then.
Oh, damn it.
All right. So Guillaume, you were following them a little closer, or a little closelier than the others. Valeria's not. She stepped out. So I guess we'll go with you. So you see this mob forming. They're making their way towards the tavern. What do you wish to do?
So as I see them, I think I was down an alley or between. I know I was near the blacksmith.
Yeah,
Right.
you would follow to the blacksmith shop, and you sort of saw them go in. You talked to the people from the tavern talked to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith was kind of one of the instigators of the original incident. Like you had heard that much in the report.
Yeah.
And then they sort of went off from there. But I think you stayed at the blacksmith shop and just watched what he was doing.
So I will turn away from the mob, removing my mask, and turn back and look to see if anybody. When the blacksmith comes out, is he carrying anything? I'm looking for somebody who's giving out the pitchforks and torches.
Okay, so a lot of the people living here would be like farmers and stuff like that. So they're sort of, it's like a bring your own pitchfork party.
Okay, does the blacksmith have a weapon equivalent in his little area as he's getting out?
Yeah, he's carrying a pitchfork as well.
So I'm going to walk over to him and be like, you got another one?
So he looks at you. He doesn't seem to recognize you, and he's like, "Excuse me."
I point at the pitchfork. Another got another pitchfork.
Why don't you make a deception test?
Oh yes, I will. All right, and how do we roll dice again in this game?
3d6.
3d6.
And one weird color.
And I believe
Nice.
that's cunning, right? That's got to be cunning.
Nice.
I think
yes,
so.
and I do have doubles.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a total of, and I do have deception, so that would be a 14, and I got doubles, and I got a 6 on it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, he doesn't seem to recognize you, but maybe you were here for the festival. He's like, so you want to get that knife ears too, right?
I just nod.
All right. He grabs a pitchfork and hands it to you. So you generated stunt points, right? So that would be under
Yep.
role-playing stunts. I've got the card in front of me, but I don't have it in the core rulebook. So do you have the rulebook open?
No, I haven't got that far yet. My
Okay.
bad.
That's good, because I need to find the page too.
They have a thing I sent for the other game.
Oh, do
Are
they
you
actually
looking
have the
at
okay.
role-playing stunts?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have access to that, then exploration and role-playing stunts in the rulebook, it is on page 133. If you have the core rulebook open.
Dragon Age. Here we go.
Yep.
What are you doing over here? Okay.
Some of these are kind of interesting. You have bon mot. You tag the perfect witty remark onto the end of your action, affecting those who can hear it more deeply. And then there's and another thing. You managed to weave a second thread of conversation into the primary interaction that called for the test.
One more thing.
I'm just going to Columbo them.
My wife often tells me about how these pitchforks are normally used for, doing farm stuff. But I'm wondering, what else can they be used for, That was a terrible Columbo.
You sure you don't want to flirt with the guy?
I'm tempted to, yeah.
Do it.
Good. You do have that silky smooth French accent.
Bonjour.
It won't go over well.
It will go over great.
I don't know. People in Dragon Age are a little more liberal.
Not in Ferelden, though. When it comes to legions.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, being that a mob has assembled to come after their, this new friend in the town, I don't know that I want to be against them.
I love the way that was said. Mob, assemble!
Well, they're not after the Orlesian, though. They're after the elf. That's got to be different
For
somehow.
now.
Yeah.
They're not taking my prisoner anywhere.
Let's see. I'm going to use Sway the Crowd.
Okay. So your interpersonal efforts are so effective that they spill over into others in this area. You affect one additional person of your choice past the original target. You may use the stunt multiple times in the same roll. However, if the test that gave rise to the stunt was an opposed test, which it wasn't, you may not expand. Okay.
And then if I've got 4 points left, I'll use Tower of Will.
Okay.
I knew you were going to go with that one.
So your success gives you a sense of your own brilliance and strength of
I knew
character
it was coming.
for the rest of the current.
I already knew.
Yep.
Actually, that might come in very handy. I'm just going to let you know that. So Valeria, you see this mob sort of forming and making their way towards the tavern, and you think you see Guillaume kind of with them.
I'm just going to let him do his own thing. He usually does better if I do. So I'm going to book it back to the tavern to let one of our other fellow characters that I don't remember their name because I didn't write it down and they didn't change their name in the Zoom chat. I'm going to let them know.
The Langdon.
Yeah, I mean, easy one.
I'm basically going to run in there and be like, dude, there's a mob coming. And they're coming for our friend upstairs.
Like, bro.
Sure. Oh, come on.
Hear me, man.
Come on.
Oh, I spelled it wrong.
Man.
Hang on.
So long. Yep, that's actually my name online. My Skype name. Who told you?
I guess it's a good thing that doesn't actually appear on the YouTube video, or you might be demonetized.
Yeah, I'm screenshotting it for purposes.
And after notifying him, I'm really just gonna run up to the table and be like, "There's a ton of people coming for the lady upstairs," and then I'm gonna book it back to the door, and I'm gonna stand outside in the doorway, leaning against the door. I'm sort of half blocking the door.
Wait, did you tell me there was a ton of people coming? I'm very confused.
I think she told Sir Langdon.
Sir Langdon,
okay.
You're upstairs.
Okay.
Look, this is a game of
I'm
telephone.
standing on the table,
Okay.
and
Yeah, you're still kind of oblivious as to what's going on. However, I will allow you to make a perception hearing check to see if you actually hear the mob. Oh, here's my sheet with all the skills on them. That could be useful.
doubt it. I rolled 2, 2, 1. So I got doubles, but that's only, again, a 7.
Yeah. No, you're kind of oblivious as
I'm
to...
concentrating on this person. I'm casting rock armor on myself in case they wake up because I'm here alone with someone in close quarters.
Yeah, that's fair.
This bastard.
Yep. So cast it. Make your casting roll.
Yep. Oh, well, there's where all the 6s in the world wound up. That's an 18 plus 4 plus a bunch of other numbers.
Yeah, I think that beats, what is it, the 10 or 13 it is for that? I think it's 10. I think it's
10.
Yeah. Any stunts?
Oh, I have to have stunts now. I don't know if I can live with this type of...
Well, did you roll doubles, I guess?
I rolled 3 doubles of 6s.
Oh, you literally rolled 18? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the next part coming up, I'm not trying to steer the group, but if you go a certain way in dealing with the mob, when you roll your dice, leave them on the table because we may need to reference them after you make the roll.
I'll increase my spell power by 3 for the first one, so it's full rock armor.
Okay.
And I have 3 points left.
I think you can reduce the mana.
Yeah, I can reduce it, so I'm going to reduce it once, and that'll do it for me.
Okay, cool.
Yay!
All right, so Sir Langdon.
Yeah, so when she tells me, I'm probably sitting at a table just talking to some random commoner and talking about how great our travels were and how, how it was completely peaceful because I don't want to startle anybody. And once she whispers the thing in my ear, I kind of go onto the table with my gauntlets. And I'm like, well, I got to go. Enjoy your rest of your... And I just say, enjoy the rest of your night. And I step out, and I step out of the tavern. Don't really leave the tavern's doorway area, but like I step out and I take a couple steps. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you step. So you're standing sort of in front of Valeria because she was in the doorway.
Oh, yeah. I'd probably go past her because I do want to leave the tavern, but I don't want to like.
You're like on the doorstep.
I don't want to leave. Yeah, I want to be like on the porch of the tavern pretty much to see what's up. To stop people if they're coming in or whatever, try and calm the mob.
All right, so yeah, you start to hear like the shouting and everything. Like these guys are starting to get pretty riled up, and you can sort of see them marching. You identify who you suspect to be the blacksmith pretty quickly because he's sort of like the most physically imposing looking of the villagers. He's also wearing his what's it called, a smock, the leather apron.
Yep.
And Sir Guillaume, or not Sir Guillaume, just Guillaume, is he's sort of like at this guy's side.
I look over at him and I kind of just cock my head. And then so the blacksmith guy looks like he's leading it?
Yeah, he looks like he's sort of the person in front. And Sir Guillaume sort of like right kind of next to him, just a little bit behind him, carrying a pitchfork, wielding a pitchfork as well. Yeah. And you see folks carrying torches and
I know who the blacksmith is, correct? I was told.
Yeah, you know his name is Colon. And I'm sure that will not be mispronounced in any way, shape, or form.
Colon.
Ever. How could you mispronounce that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a way.
Colon.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it's coal because,
Yeah, coal.
Blacksmith, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it's on. He's got coal on his apron. So,
yeah.
Are you Colon? I was sent to speak with you by Logain.
Like, yeah, that's me. But I'm not interested in talking to you. I want to talk to that person, that thing you brought with you.
Well, you should be interested in talking to me because I am here on duties of, like I said, Logain. And I am here to get to the bottom of all this.
Do you want to get to the bottom of this? You bring that elf down, and then we'll get to the bottom of it.
What is your problem?
Do you really want that elf to come down here? I mean, is that really what you want? I turn and look at her
as she's like talking out of turn.
It's like that elf and her kin put a curse on this town.
What curse is that?
There's monsters in the woods. There's people gone missing. Look, she's responsible, and we need to take care of this. So you can either go get her, or you can step aside, and we'll get her.
You say monsters in the woods. This is Ferelden. Of course there's monsters in the woods.
No, these aren't like your normal wolves and bears and...
Darkspawn.
Oh, Darkspawn's a myth. Keep in mind, it's been centuries since the last blight. Yeah.
So are you saying you can't handle it? You're saying that she's some sort of inferior race that was able to conjure up something that's just absolutely terrifying to you?
Well, we're trying to deal with it. So step aside, or we'll make you step aside. So
I doubt that.
How many people are there?
Yeah, so to break the narrative just for a second, there's about there's about 30 villagers along with the blacksmith and Guillaume. So there's two different ways that you can sort of approach this situation. The first one would be, combat, which is an option. But this is also
Valeria. We can handle this.
I like our odds.
But this is also where the scenario introduces the concept of advanced tests.
Right.
And those are kind of like skill challenges where you can, use your words to, to sort of defuse the situation. So I'll leave it up to you, but 30 on 2 or possibly 3, depending. We don't.
Guillaume totally has jumped sides already. We need some
he's
PvP apparently again.
Yeah, he made a heel turn.
Do I hear any of what's going on now?
So
It's not a pitchfork. He's got a steel chair and he looks like he's defending you, but he's gonna turn.
what kind of creatures are these monsters? These terrifying things?
Look, obviously you're not gonna help us. I'm done talking to you. Just get out of our way.
Well,
No.
I would be happy to kill the monsters for you. Is there some sort of reward for this?
The monsters aren't gonna go away as long as the curse is in effect. So,
yeah, I'm sure. So I'll also break the curse too when I kill the monsters. The point is, though, what could I get out of it?
you can get out of our way.
Look, we already said that's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen. It's not going to work out well for you.
While she's
So-
doing this, Langdon just kind of folds his arms and leans back against the tavern and just lets her talk, and just steps back.
Yeah, so Sir Langdon, as a knight, as a warrior, you recognize the fact that the tensions are really starting to build, to the point where, like, you can see people sort of tightening their grips on their weapons. You can tell that in a few seconds, things are going to go down.
I unsheath my two-handed sword that still has blood on it from before. And I just say, look, you don't want this to get dirty. It's already dirty, but it could get a lot dirtier real fast.
So are you looking to make
An intimidation check.
An intimidation check?
Yep.
All right, so do that. Keep your dice on the table. So the way that advanced tests work, if you're, for those watching that may not be familiar, essentially you make a series of skill checks. They're usually like interaction ones, like deception, intimidation, persuasion, possibly seduction, but we'll worry about that later if need be. And you make your roll against a target number. If you succeed, what you then do is take the result of your dragon die and you start adding those together. So each successful check that you make, you take the dragon die number and you add it to any of the previous dragon die numbers. And once you reach a certain threshold, like a set number, then you've been basically considered to have succeeded at the advanced test. So you can make your intimidation check.
Yep. So I have a 15. I rolled doubles.
Okay. Yep.
And I have 1 point to spend, so I can only do the witty remark. So I will call them sheep for believing that darkspawn are a myth, but these mythical monsters by by elves are factual.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So what was your dragon die number?
1.
Oh, okay. You don't think that the message really got through to too many people. You see like a couple of them start to like lower their pitchforks a little bit, kind of loosen their grips on them, but the mob as a whole still seems pretty riled up.
I laugh at it.
Now, for Valeria, since you were talking about fighting the monsters yourself, you can make a persuasion or deception check if you weren't genuine about that. And that can go towards the test as well.
All right, so I also got doubles, and I got a 19.
Okay. So what was the dragon die number?
4.
Okay. All right. So you hear some whisperings like, well, maybe they can deal with, like, maybe, right? And then a few others are like, shushing them or telling them to shut up, and like they're not serious. They're not going to help you. The elf's the problem. And now, so Sir Guillaume, right now you have that +1 bonus to tests. So if you want to jump in at any time, just know that you get that +1 bonus for the rest of this interaction.
Okay.
Valeria?
Can I use those for stunt points or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I would like to use them. I would like to do flirt. And I would like to use that on the blacksmith.
Okay. All right, choose one character who's present and immediately make a communication seduction test versus their self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and roll. I thought it would be longer, honestly, before I got to say this, but roll for seduction.
I also got doubles with that one. That is a 17.
Okay, so if you're rolling a skill check based off of a stunt, you don't generate additional stunt points. Yeah. But
Yeah,
so what was
Paula,
your result?
you didn't know that? Come on.
No, it's fine. What was your result?
17.
17. Oh, okay. And what was his self-discipline, which is willpower?
How disciplined is he really?
He's a
Well,
blacksmith.
on a scale of 1 to 17, his discipline is about a 10. So let's read the rest of this flirt thing, shall we? If you win, that character becomes enamored with yours. What exactly this means in the moment and how it might play out or fall apart in the long run are up to the GM or the player. If this stunt targets a PC, interesting, and depend on how you continue to act. But if you're successful, he kind of likes a strong, assertive woman.
Strong, independent woman.
So he's like, I'll tell you what, little lady, you let us deal with this elf, and then afterwards, you and I can talk about slaying some monsters. And then he gives you this really gross, exaggerated wink.
I imagine the tongue flicking out like.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna take a step towards him, and I'm gonna tell him, and I know that she's not the problem.
Make a persuasion check. Or an additional seduction check. But we'll count this one towards the
13.
Okay, what was your dragon die number?
3.
All right. A lot of the vigor that the crowd was in is sort of diminishing. And you see just a lot of uncomfortable glances from most of the villagers, and they didn't sign up for this. It's getting a little weird, a little creepy. They just wanted to beat up an elf, and that's starting to look like it's slipping away from them. Sir Guillaume, you're witnessing all of this.
So I see the crowd. They seemed hostile, but they're kind of taken out of the moment from this interaction. What is the blacksmith? Does he seem distracted at the moment?
Yeah, he's kind of blushing a bit, and you suspect that his focus isn't where it was just a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Get them to wipe out the rest of the party.
So the tavern itself, is it 2 stories?
Yes.
And I'm going to assume that there is a back door to the tavern.
So there is a set of steps going up to the second floor for access just to the rooms, because all of the rooms for the inn are on the second floor.
All right. So I will start to look around and start to walk away from the crowd and look at the edge. Like if I'm looking at the tavern, I'm like looking at the corner, and I say, "We've been deceived," and I point in that direction, and I was like, "There she goes," and I start running.
Okay. Why don't you make a deception check?
With a +1.
With a +1. Because of your tower of your own brilliance and strength of character.
So glad I got that, because 8, 9, 10, 11, and I got double. So
okay, unfortunately,
not good enough. Nobody believes me.
He almost starts running.
Well, yeah, it's like nobody even really noticed like what you said. you just like, it's your accent, right? They're like, what?
Yeah.
And like you hear someone saying you must have to take a leak or something. I don't know. But yeah, you run off.
Okay.
Honora, you can hear stuff. Like you finally heard the mob. You heard the shouting, and then you just like heard almost an immediate drop off. And a few like sounds coming from outside the window.
I'm going to take a look outside the window real fast.
Okay. Yeah, so you see this mob with like pitchforks and torches, although most of them have like the pitchforks completely lowered at this point. But you do see Valeria up close and personal with this blacksmith guy. And she seems to be using her wiles against him.
A wise woman. I'd have gone with threats. I'm going to check on the prisoner. How's she looking?
She's actually starting to stir a little bit. She's still unconscious, but she's actually like, you can sort of hear her almost like, I know it's going to sound weird, but she kind of like moans a little bit as she tries to move, like just from the pain of her wounds.
Is she still bound?
I don't think you... Oh, you did bind her, didn't you?
Did we?
I thought we bound her. If not, I'll bind her now.
I think it was after you brought her up to the room. If you did, because you didn't bring her in like that because you passed her off as a drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she would still be bound.
Okay, I'm gonna. In that case, I'm gonna also go ahead and put a small gag in her mouth so she can't scream or anything.
Okay.
Yes, I want to make sure that it doesn't make a bunch of noise when she comes to. And I'm going to then pull out my pen and some paper and start writing.
Okay, this is turning into a weird session. I like it. You got some flirtation with the blacksmith and a rogue. You got some possible 50 Shades of Grey stuff going on in the tavern. Sir Guillaume's running to relieve himself, evidently.
50 Shades of Honora.
I'm just watching it all, Yep. Looks great.
50 Shades of Apostates.
That sounds like a book that Varric would write.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he wrote this. He wrote the song. The book was Hard and
Hightown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now we have 50 Shades of Honora.
It was a romance novel too.
It was. All right. So, Sir Langdon, you're watching Valeria flirt with this guy, and I don't know. How do you react?
So I've got my sword out still. So I would probably this time like walk firmly forward with my sword and say, "This is your last chance to disperse as a mob and go back to where you came from." Intimidation check.
Intimidation check. I guess you could also do leadership too if you wanted. If you had that as a focus. But.
So that is a 14.
All right. And your dragon die?
A 5. All
right. So at this point, the mob just completely, their enthusiasm's gone. They realize that, they're not going to get their way. They're a little grossed out by what's going on with the blacksmith because he thinks he's being subtle in his flirtations, but he's as subtle as like the sledge that he uses to forge things with. Mm-hmm. So like it's just weird. He's making like kissy faces, at one point he talks about taking her back to the shop, and then he can unsheath his weapon. It's getting really uncomfortable. So people are they're just like, forget it. You know, we didn't sign on for this, and they disperse.
You too, Blacksmith.
He's like, dude, I'm working on something here.
You know what? I don't think it was going to work anyway.
What are you saying?
Maybe you should just go home and like sleep it off.
But we were right. Like we were.
We can talk in the morning. You know, it's kind of like a tomorrow thing. Maybe. Never.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, like
She has a headache, okay?
tomorrow afternoon.
Just gotta wash her hair.
Look here, colon.
Kinda-
Colon.
it is kinda dirty.
Colon. See, I screwed it up, damn it.
Yeah, no, I knew.
Hold on.
The fact that you screwed it up is the funny thing. I thought you would just say it like intentionally.
Shabbat colon. Shabbat.
Colon. She has a headache. The lady needs to get some rest. We will come over to your shop tomorrow to discuss this.
He just looks at you. He's like, I got nothing to say to you, knight. And then he just sort of spits on the ground.
Then you won't see
in
the
front of
lady
you.
again.
No, that's between me and her. And then he just turns
What are you,
around.
like my keeper? Over there?
Look here. Are you that offended? You want to go with the blacksmith? Go. Go. I won't pay for your room tonight then. Go.
No, I'm just saying. Everybody's being a little, assertive right now.
I have to be. I'm a knight and this is my jurisdiction.
Look, so we'll come talk to you in the morning. There are a couple things that I do want to discuss with you.
I'll hold you to that. And then he winks as he says, hold you to that.
Yeah.
And he's like, and by that, I mean, just forget it. And then,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, tomorrow. And he does the finger guns.
How do you know what a gun is?
He does the finger crossbows. Yeah.
The finger crossbow.
Yeah.
You're really going to entertain that grease trap?
No, of course not.
Oh, you made it seem like
oh
something's
my
going
gosh,
down.
they
He
were gonna
believes it.
they were gonna
believes it.
break into that tavern and
does believe it.
haul her out of here.
You are walking into a problem, miss.
Why? Everything gonna be fine.
You are leading that poor guy on.
Yeah, well, he's gonna
Look at him. He has
gonna
probably
survive.
never seen a woman's body once.
You
in his
know
life.
what? He is an adult. He can make his own choices. Okay.
Oh, I'm not worried about his choices. I'm worried about yours. If you're not interested, just be careful is all I'm getting at.
Okay.
You can do what you want, but if you're not interested, you may have just pushed it a little bit. I'm just saying.
I think we're all gonna be fine.
Oh, I know I'll be fine. He's not interested in me.
Settle down.
I turn around and leave her outside and walk in and go upstairs.
Right. So the question is, when she turns to go into the tavern, does she look back?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna look back longingly at the creepy blacksmith.
That seals it then. He's kind of almost walking backwards, and then he just sees you turn and just walk in, not even a glance.
He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, make a perception hearing check to see if you can hear his heart breaking. No, you don't have to actually roll.
He goes
all right.
ahead and blows a kiss, so Langdon goes ahead and grabs it away before it hits her.
To say if you were using a shield, you put the shield up.
Yeah.
All right, so Honora, inside, as the crowd disperses, the elven woman awakes with a start and yells out the name Harlan.
I beg your pardon, let me remove the gag. What did you say?
She's like, where am I?
You're in the tavern right now. We found you.
And then she looks down. It's like the binds,
We
on
weren't
our
sure
hand.
what happened. You were unconscious, surrounded by darkspawn wolves.
What about? Did you see anything else, or was it just the wolves?
Dead people everywhere. In the farmhouse.
People?
Humans.
He must have left. Could you please, maybe? And she motions for the binds again. She's like, I appreciate you helping, but I'm not gonna hurt anyone.
You promise not to run away?
Where would I go?
Good enough for me. I'll unbind her.
Okay. She kind of feels like at her wounds, and you can tell that like she's conscious, but she's still pretty weak.
Yeah, let me help you at least.
So
Now
you
go
kind
ahead. I'll cast heal on her.
okay.
That's a resounding success on casting, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll, but she sort of breathes a little bit easier, and she's just like, "So who are you? I don't recognize you."
Oh, Honora, pleasure to meet you.
This pleasure. It's pleasure to meet you. Thank you. My name's Ashara.
Ashara, so nice. We were sent here from Tyrion to find out what's going on between this town and your people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Are you alone, or did you come with others?
There's 3 others. They're dealing with a mob at the moment.
A mob?
Yes, it turns out they don't particularly like you very much.
Oh, they're sort of
Stupid.
well, I was going to say misguided, but yes,
being
stupid
honest.
sounds about right. Yeah, I have much to tell you, but I'd prefer to tell your entire group if possible.
They'll be up shortly. I wouldn't worry too much. Are you all right, though? What happened at the farmhouse?
I'll explain everything in a moment. And then she starts like kind of feeling around. She's like, the chain, the link.
We have it.
Okay, good. Good. And then we'll cut to Guillaume.
Okay, so I'm assuming I ran around the building and
You did, and
nobody...
well, a few seconds later, the mob did disperse. So you think you succeeded after all. Although they're going in the opposite direction, but
Yeah. So what's the mob's general demeanor? Kind of disappointed that they all riled up?
yeah, they just like they're kind of, some of them are hanging their heads, or like a few of them are just like dragging their pitchforks, and they look pretty. There's not, they're pretty sad.
Okay. Do I spot the blacksmith?
Yeah, he was kind of like walking backwards for a while. And then all of a sudden you see like he had this sort of almost like a smile on his face. So, I mean, something obviously, was going his way, but then suddenly he just kind of gets this like really sad look on his face. He just sort of kicks a rock that's in front of him. And then a few seconds later, he actually seems to get kind of mad and storms off back to the blacksmith shop.
Okay. Well, I'll follow him.
Or the smithy.
I'll follow him then.
Okay. Valeria and Sir Langdon, what are you guys doing?
I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna knock on the door because we're staying in different rooms, correct?
Yes.
Different rooms.
So
one
I would
just for
knock
you.
on Honora's door knowing that she has the elf.
Yep.
Who is it?
Sir Langdon.
Oh, come in, please.
I kind of peek my head in. Oh, she's awake. Is she okay? And I close the door
Yes.
behind me.
I'll actually go in with him before he shuts that door.
As I'm closing it, I see her hand grab the door, like
Yeah.
just around it, and I'm like, "Oh, it's you. Okay, come on in."
These are my friends, or my colleagues, to be more precise. And this is Ashura.
Ashira?
Shara.
Ashara?
Ashara.
Ashara.
Oh, pleasure to meet you. So, What are your wounds from?
It's a lot to explain.
We got all night.
All right. Well, so as you obviously know, our band visited this village just 2 weeks ago during their harvest festival. We were welcomed then, but there was a bit of trouble. Some of the locals had too much to drink, and there was a confrontation with some of the young men. Harsh words were exchanged, then Haralon, one of our hunters, attacked the big blacksmith. The village warden separated them before it could get out of hand, but still the damage was done. We were no longer welcome here, and we moved on as soon as the festival had ended. Haralon was angry at our treatment, but our elders assigned him to the duty of scouting as we made our way through the Brazilian forest. To give him time to cool off, hopefully he would forget about this. He was the first to disappear. He simply didn't return from his scouting one night. Then other scouts and hunters began to go missing, as did the ones who were sent to look for them. The elders decided we should go back, but by then it was too late. 3 days after Haralon disappeared, before we could reach the edge of the forest, they attacked our camp. Darkspawn emerging from the trees in the dead of night. My people were taken. Those who fought were beaten or killed. I was captured along with the rest, then taken to an ancient ruin in the Rift Valley deep in the forest off of the trails. The master of the Darkspawn is a creature, an abomination. He calls himself Mythalin, which in our tongue means child of vengeance. I was brought before him and then to his chambers. I managed to escape, taking the broken link of silver I found laid out as if on a shrine. The Darkspawn pursued me, accompanied by a pack of baying beasts. I was wounded, but I managed to avoid them, hiding among the trees and gullies in the forest for more than a day. Always moving, never resting for long. I stumbled upon the farm where you found me, and I managed to conceal myself in the hayloft. I heard some of the farmers coming. The Darkspawn must have attacked. I remember the terrible screams. Then nothing. Until now. Please, you must help my people. Mythalin and his creatures must be stopped.
So let me get this straight. You think Mythalin is the one who was picking you guys off in the night? On the scouts and hunters? All the scouts and hunters?
So most of the creatures that he had, their numbers were almost the same as the numbers of those we lost. And the Darkspawn looked elven.
He looked elven, and he could speak?
Mythalin could speak. The Darkspawn he created couldn't. But they had to be our hunters. They looked twisted, corrupted, warped, but they looked like people I knew.
Are you sure you didn't just eat some bad berries or something?
She looks at you kind of like, she gives you a bit of a harsh stare. And then she looks down at her wounds.
Just saying.
She's like, you fought some of the beasts, not the elves, but you fought some of their beasts. You think I'm making this up?
I don't know. I'm just saying, Darkspawn, here?
We did fight some of them.
Little, I don't know. Hard to believe.
How
quickly humans seem to forget their history. You treat the Darkspawn like they're legend, like they're myth, but they're not. They're out there. And you've just been lucky not to see them until now. And this village isn't safe from them.
How many did you say there were? Approximately?
Dozens.
This village could certainly handle dozens. I mean, how good are these Darkspawn in combat? I've never encountered one. I hear they're pretty dumb though.
Well, if that's how you feel, then I pray for you. That the gods will watch over you in your misguided, foolish ignorance.
Do you think you would be able to show us the way back?
She tries to get up, and like she's in no condition. She's like, I can draw. I can make you a map. I'm not in any shape to travel, but I can send you along a path that will get you to where I was.
Where's Guillaume? He might like a map. Honora, do you like maps?
I can use maps easy enough,
Okay.
and I can draw a map if necessary.
Okay, maybe you can work with her on the map then.
How exactly did you escape?
I was left alone, and I just took the opportunity to run. I'm not proud of it, but someone had to escape and let someone know what was going on.
What did you see when you were there? What were the inner chambers like? What was the layout of the facility you were captured in?
So she can describe that to you as well.
Okay.
It appeared to be sort of like some sort of ruins, like a tower, a ruined tower. Maybe it was some sort of keep. It was like a human keep. A couple of towers and a square building.
And you said you were not chained up or anything? You just simply ran off?
We were put into a cell. I was pulled from the cell and taken to Mythilin's chamber.
And where was Mythilin's chamber in this keep?
So she tells you basically which one it is. It's there's when you first come in, there's like a tower that you enter first, and then you get into the square part of the keep, and then past that there was another sort of circular tower, or at least what used to be a circular tower, and his chambers were there.
And he didn't keep any guards or anything guarding the entrances or exits?
They were out
doing what?
making more of their kind, I guess. The wolves, the beasts. They weren't ours. They had to make them somehow.
Would it be possible to roll the equivalent of an insight check in this game? Because what she's saying sounds kind of sus.
Yeah, that would be
Cunning? Or
it would have to be
communication.
Yeah, communicate. Let's see what we got for communication. I would go with investigation.
Okay.
By the way, is there
investigation?
a towel around here?
Oh yeah.
Is there some water in this room too?
There's like a basin. Yeah.
Okay, I will grab a towel, get a little wet, and I will unsheath my sword and wipe all the blood off.
Okay.
While this is going on. And since it's not my room, I'll just leave the towel wherever.
Just on the floor. Just drop it on the. Yeah.
I'm used to having a squire or something. So
Yeah. You're like the boy. Yeah, the boy will get it.
Yeah.
Even though you're not traveling with them. All right. So.
Education, you said?
Investigation.
Okay. What's
Which is a
investigation?
communication. Yeah.
Okay. That is a 14 with doubles.
Okay. Go ahead and decide what you want to do with those stunt points. You suspect that she's telling the truth. I mean, obviously, she did more than just simply run out. But hunters, she sort of carries herself like a bit like a hunter. So she's probably trained in some stealth techniques and survival.
I will go ahead and use my thing for, well, not a lot I can do, but I'm going to try and another thing with her.
Okay. So what's the second thread of conversation you wish to weave?
I would like to go ahead and ask, so what exactly happened with the other beasts? How many of them were there? Darkspawn.
I don't know the full numbers. I know there were at least half a dozen that were at the farm that were chasing me.
Well, don't think so, Langdon. We would be able to say quite certainly that this person is not a military expert, or he'd keep his home base actually defended as opposed to completely abandoning it of his personnel.
Yeah, that coincides with being a dumb darkspawn, whatever, you know.
Now,
It seems
Are we
odd they
thinking
would
of
just
going
unguard them.
there and like killing them all?
I mean, they're darkspawn. I think we need to before it gets out of hand, don't you?
Just the 4 of us?
well, I'll investigate.
There's only a couple dozen. We can handle that. And they're not, and apparently they're not all congregated together. We can outsmart them.
Well, we were told to investigate what's happening here and find out and report back.
We found
Also
out.
to ease tensions of what's going on, so we should bring this information to the mayor. If we can scout out ahead and bring back evidence of darkspawn, we might be able to get the village warden on our side and have him commit some of his militia forces to assist.
Ashara, what do you think about moving to an alienage in Denerim or something?
She does not answer that.
You'll be safe there.
But the look that she gives you alone is enough that tells you that's probably not going to happen.
I'm just trying to keep you safe because you're not safe in this town, and we can't just leave you here.
What's with all the curse stuff they keep talking about here?
The nearest, well, first of all, no, I will never set foot in an alienage. But the nearest one is weeks away.
Is there a chantry here that might take her in and keep her safe?
Well, there's a chantry. Yeah. It's closed down for the night.
Right. But would I know if they would protect her while there? Like, generally, obviously, I don't know the people there, but typically, would they though?
Well, let's make a cultural lore check, which is a cunning focus.
Okay, cunning. Oh wow, 16 with doubles.
Okay. Yeah, you can do your stunts however you wish.
I'm not gonna flirt. I saw how that goes.
Well, you're pondering to yourself. So
I will sway the crowd.
I mean, then that makes the most sense then.
Yeah, he would kind of
seems
flirt with himself.
appropriate. Yeah.
He's a handy man.
I will sway the crowd with her.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, well, I think we might take you to the chantry then tomorrow. I think that's probably the safest place for you to stay, assuming we can find somebody there who will help keep your identity hidden for at least a few days while we look into this. And another thing, why does this town think that you guys cursed it? That was my other stunt, by the way.
Yeah.
And another thing.
Because they're sheltered. They're superstitious. They don't understand the world around them. They just, some of their hunters saw some of the darkspawn, and they blame us. Which, I mean, maybe they're right. If the darkspawn are made of our people, but I mean, it's nothing that I or any of the elders intended.
Was Mythalon a darkspawn that looked like an elf as well?
No, he was something else altogether.
What did he look like?
See if there's an actual picture of him, because it's been a while since I've seen one of these things in the video game.
Was it like an architect or something?
No.
A bit like Ronald Reagan at the end of the day.
So he, like the darkspawn are, they look more or less elven, right? They're just, their features are twisted and
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
some of them. But this was something, again, altogether different, like monstrous, huge, just filled with hatred and anger. And then she says a word in Elven that you don't recognize. However, Honora You recognize that it sounds similar to the term abomination.
What do you mean by abomination?
So abominations are individuals that become possessed by demons.
I'll be like, hey guys, I'll be right back. I need to go make sure Guillaume's okay. And I step out for a second and look for him.
Yep. So speaking of Guillaume, so you followed our blacksmith back to his shop.
Yep.
I will get you to make a stealth check.
Oh no, I'm not stealthing. I'm just walking back.
Oh, you're just walking. Okay.
Yeah, I'm part of the mob. I got a pitchfork in my hand. I mean, and it's his, so I got to walk back, and give it to him.
All right. He's just like, well, sorry you didn't get a chance to use it, but I mean, who knows? There might be another chance.
So I pick up the pitchfork, drive it into the ground. I was like, this is disgusting. What's wrong with these people?
Well, it was that. Well, I don't know. I just got in my head, but I'm not going to take this laying down.
I wouldn't.
So, what's your name, by the way? I don't think I caught it.
Larry.
Well, it's good to meet you, Larry. I can tell that you're cut from the same cloth. Yeah, no, I'm not going to take this laying down. We were tricked, manipulated by those out-of-towners. We're going to get them.
Must have been the influence of those elves.
Yeah, I think. Well, they were protecting one, weren't they?
Yep.
I was like, they got to them. Obviously, it's got to be blood magic. But I got a plan. You meet me back here tomorrow. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning. I got a plan.
What do I need to bring? Do I need to try to rouse the rest of these folks up?
I already have a few people I can count on. This is just gonna stay to a small circle, okay? I don't want too many people to know, but we'll discuss that tomorrow.
How'd this get started?
I'm sorry?
How'd this get started?
How did when those damn elves came in and started getting all preachy? I didn't take their land. I didn't lead the stupid march against them. That was the Chantry hundreds of years ago.
Damn Chantry.
Well, I mean, the maker knows best, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, and I do whatever symbol for the maker in his presence.
Well, you would know for sure because Orlesians are very religious. Like the divine, the head of the Chantry resides in Orlais.
But I'm also in exile, so I don't really follow that. So.
Well, no, but you still know about it. It's
Right.
still common knowledge, right? Justinia, the divine, resides there.
You sure you don't want to go and get a drink, talk about what this plan's going to be?
No, not tonight. I gotta just have a cold bath, and I'll see you in the morning. All right.
Okay. I'll go keep an eye on that so-called knight.
Yeah, you do that. I don't trust him, and that she-devil that's with him, I didn't trust her either. I thought I did, but she didn't look back.
Nope.
And he just sort of he sniffles a little bit, and he's like, "All right, I gotta go. See you in the morning." And he slams the door to the smith shop.
I would be so offended right now if I heard him call Valeria she-devil and not me.
Well, you want that low profile though, right?
I'm the only apostate here, assholes. Listen.
All right. Has the crowd dispersed? Nobody's around. I'm assuming it's dark by now.
Oh yeah, I mean it was pretty late at night when this started in the first place.
Okay. Listen for a second to hear if I can hear him inside, if he's rooting around or.
All right. Make a hearing check.
Under anything specific?
Perception. Yeah. Sorry.
It's an 8.
Oh, you got 8. Sorry.
I got 8 total. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
think
I mean, you
Too
hear a little bit of like stuff kind of being rustled around.
Okay.
You think you hear the occasional sob, but you're not entirely sure.
Okay. Just a quick look around the outside of his shop. Anything out of the ordinary besides? Does it look like a normal blacksmith?
Yeah, it looks pretty normal. I mean, the quality is actually not bad. I mean, as much as he's kind of a jerk, he seems to be pretty competent as a blacksmith.
Okay.
Like the pitchfork that he crafted would almost pass for a low grade Orlesian pitchfork. Almost. And that's, pretty high praise for, these dog loving Fereldans.
Pretty hoity-toity pitchfork.
An Orlesian pitchfork would be very hoity-toity.
I'm sure.
It would be like, Damascus, acid etched, probably inlaid with some form of jewelry.
Although they probably wouldn't need a pitchfork because it's in the middle of a desert, isn't it?
No, Orlay's pretty...
Is it green? Oh,
yeah.
I guess it is, yeah.
Oh, the Nile and everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's desert, around it, but not...
It's west of it, yeah.
When Orlesians use a pitchfork, they keep their pinky out.
Yeah. And the wood would obviously be, like, heavily perfumed. As is Orlesian, fertilizer.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right. So I will head back to the tavern.
All right.
When he walks in, I'll be like, "Get your butt up here! What the heck were you doing?"
I look behind me like he's obviously talking to somebody else.
Guillaume, I saw you just go running off in the middle of the night for no reason. Everyone just was so confused out there.
Yeah, part of my
fair, I don't
plan
think
that
that's what they were
was
confused.
did not work well. But the crowd left. Phew, and I just walked past him.
We're all up in Honora's room. And I'll follow him upstairs if that's what he's doing.
Sure.
Yeah, I head up there.
All right. It is about 10 minutes early, but if maybe now might be a good time for a quick break.
All right, perfect. We'll be back in just a minute.
All right.
I identify as chaotic neutral.
Well, we are back. So take it away, Draven. Sorry about that break, guys. But yes, we are back and ready to play some more Dragon Age.
All right. So essentially, you guys could just rest for the evening. You sort of had your conversations and everything. Unless there was anything else that was really pressing, we'll sort of move on to the next day.
I don't have anything.
Okay. All right. So the next morning arrives. Guillaume, what do you wish to do?
Well, I would have told everybody that he wanted to meet me in the morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the plan is for the rest of the group.
Well, I think the big plan at the moment is to get the elf safe at the chantry.
The blacksmith wanted to meet Guillaume in the morning?
Yep.
So we might as well send Guillaume first then, and then let Honora go in case not Honora, Valeria in case there's an issue. Right?
But do I really need to go talk to him this morning?
You're the one that said you were going to, and we need to get information out of him. He doesn't want to talk to me, so there you go. It's on you.
Well, he said tomorrow, or she said tomorrow. She didn't specify first thing in the morning.
Yeah, but the sooner the better.
What information?
Thanks for your input,
from
Ashara, but this is between us.
Ashara, I think the big thing is there's a love triangle going on between Guillaume, Valeria, and the blacksmith.
Oh.
They're fighting for the blacksmith's attention.
They all like each other.
Human relationships are so complicated.
I don't understand them either, and I am human. Are you feeling better?
What exactly
yes, much better.
Did we need to talk to the blacksmith about again?
We need to figure out what's going on, remember?
Well, he specifically wants to meet with Guillaume because he's not, Guillaume was part of the mob, so to speak.
Right. While they want to meet with the blacksmith or whatever, though, I can take our friend over to the chantry.
Okay. So while you're getting her...
And I would do that early in the morning, like hopefully before most of the town is up and moving.
Okay. So, yeah, all right. So we'll get back to that. So Guillaume, what is it that you wish to do now?
So I'll get up, I guess, early, right as the sun rises and head over to the blacksmith's.
Okay. So as you're making your way out, you come down the steps. Are you going out through the outside entrance, or are you just going down through the tavern and
through the tavern? Yeah.
Okay. So you're going out. You see some people sort of start to pour into the tavern as you're making your way out, and you make your way towards the blacksmith shop. For everybody else, as you're getting Ashara ready, you sort of start making your way down. You see a man sort of standing in the tavern, and he's talking to the bartender or the innkeeper, and they sort of point over towards Sir Langdon as you're coming down.
Mm-hmm.
So you see it's a human, obviously human male.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fairly tall man. He looks to be probably in his late 40s, early to mid 50s.
Okay.
Though he looks to be in pretty fit shape. He has longish brown, dark brown hair that's starting to go to gray, and he has a mixture of the same, so sort of like little gray hair sort of interspersed throughout his beard. Mm-hmm. So he comes over and he introduces himself as Tarl Dale, the village warden.
Tarl Dale, the village warden?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You can just call me Tarl.
Yes, sir. So we understand you've had some issues here in town.
So I'm glad that Logain sent someone. It's really, it's nice to have you here. And I'm sorry I wasn't here to greet you when you arrived last night. I was out sort of just touring around the various farms and stuff.
He was not one of the mob people, was he?
No.
Okay.
No. No, he kind of stands out too. So
I would like to talk to you a little bit more privately, not here in the center of this area where people can listen in on us.
Well, that's exactly why I was here as well. My home is just not too far from here if you want to accompany me.
Yeah. Can I take care of something and meet you over there, or have I already taken care of the elf? Have I taken her to the chance?
No, you haven't yet. And he's like, well, I might actually be able to help you with that too.
Okay, then I will tell him. Can I bring her and keep her at your place? Will you keep her
Yes,
safe?
that was actually one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you, but I guess we can just clear that now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I would be, more than happy to take care of her.
Okay. I turn to Honora. Honora, are you coming with me, or are you hoping to go over to the blacksmith?
I have nothing to gain by going to the blacksmith, and it'll be good to speak with the village warden anyway.
Okay. Yeah, let's go then. And I will say, as you may, and I'll follow you.
Okay.
I'll also give the Ashara my cloak to wear as well, because she doesn't have one.
Yeah, I would assume you had that on her last night.
Yeah.
Through today.
Yeah, she just kind of puts the same one on, and then pulls the hood like really super far down.
Yeah.
She actually pulls the cloak up kind of over her shoulders enough that it almost completely, like, she has to look straight down to see where she's going, sort of thing. But yeah, she doesn't want to cause any more trouble.
Right.
All right, so you guys are making your way there. So Guillaume, you get to the blacksmith shop. It is the door, like where it was open last night, the door is actually closed right now.
Okay. Is the pitchfork that I had still outside?
No, he took that inside with him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll knock on the door.
All right. A few seconds later, you see Kolan opens the door. And he's like, Larry, right?
Right.
All right. Oh, great. Come on in. And, he sort of guides you in, closes the door behind him, locks it.
Okay.
And you see, he sort of like brings you over to a table, and he's got about half a dozen other people that you recognize from the mob there. And he's like, take a seat.
Okay. Where is the seat located?
It's at the end of the table, furthest from the door.
So can I make a perception check? What's the vibe I'm getting from this group?
You can make an investigation check.
Investigation?
Yeah, you sort of decipher clues and
what would I be using?
that would be, so that is communication, I would say that would probably be the best one, because perception is like, it's not interpretive. It's just literally what do you see or smell or...
Okay, so communication, I got a 1, and so I'd get a 1. 13 total.
Okay.
No doubles.
They still seem to be in a bit of a mood from the previous night.
Okay.
So yeah, just have a seat.
I walk over to the chair. I was like, oh, bad hip, and I just not stand. I'm going to lean on the chair.
Okay. So the blacksmith's like, so I've never seen you before, Larry. Where are you from?
Outskirts.
Outskirts. Well, one of the farms, or
Yeah.
you one of the families, or one of the workers?
Yeah, workers. Tough to find work these days.
Is it?
Be surprised.
Well, I guess so. I mean, we just had our harvest. A lot of people working on that. What brought you into town last night?
Oh, I saw some cart come in. And there was a very suspicious-looking individual coming into town, so I followed it.
Yeah, there were some suspicious people coming into town last night, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you, I know you got your hips bothering you here. He sort of goes over and grabs like a blanket. He sort of kind of folds it up and sets it on the chair. It's like, why don't you have a seat? Why don't you have a seat?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good right here.
So he looks to one of his friends that has sort of gotten up and stretched a little bit at the same time that you came over. And he goes to actually try to force you down into the chair.
How big a boy is he?
Well, let's make a contested strength roll. And we can use... we'll just make a straight strength check.
Okay.
What'd you get?
21 with I rolled 3 6s.
Okay. So he goes to push you down, and you stay completely straight. It's like that hip doesn't seem to be bothering you so much if you're still standing. Do you want to hear a story, Larry?
Sure. What's behind me?
So it's just the one guy standing directly behind you right now. You do notice that 2 more had sort of walked over, and they're sort of standing in front of the door.
Okay.
Leading out. A couple of others are still just sitting at the table. And the blacksmith, he's on like the other side of the table, but he's walking his way over to you.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so there were some folks that came in the town last night, and they brought with them one of them damn Dalish. You know, the elves that we invited into our town to take part in our festival. And all they ever did was make us feel like we did something wrong. And then one of them had the nerve to jump me from behind. Could you believe that? From behind. And they say these elves are, you know, so graceful and such moral standing. And then they started sending monsters after us, creatures roaming in our woods. And then these strange folk come into town with one of them. And then one of their friends joined my mob and tried to make me look like a fool. See, someone told me that you came in with them. You weren't following them. You weren't checking up. You were walking right alongside of them, Larry. Now, listen. I took you at your word. I trusted you. You said you wanted to be a part of what we were doing last night. And now, come to find out, you're with the group that was protecting that knife of yours. Now, I got to do something about that, Larry. I got to take care of my reputation. And he kind of starts cracking his knuckles. And then at this point, another one of the people from the table springs up, and the 2 of them try to grab you. So let's go ahead and make a dexterity initiative roll.
Is that 3d6 or just d6?
Yep, no, 3d6. And then you add your dexterity. If you have initiative as a focus, you add your additional +2.
12, 16.
16?
And I
Okay.
got doubles, if it matters, but it probably doesn't.
Well, you could do advantageous positioning.
Yes, I will take that.
Okay. So you kind of back yourself like up against the wall as this happens. And none of them have weapons or anything drawn. They just they're just cracking their knuckles. So you said you got a 16?
Yep.
Okay. So they have a dexterity of, okay. Okay, so Colon actually goes first.
Okay.
He got a 17. I rolled pretty good for him. So he's just gonna lunge, just come forward, and he's just gonna go for a fist. He's just gonna punch you.
Okay.
Now this isn't gonna be like lethal damage or anything. It'll still come off your hit point total, but it can't kill you. It can only knock you out. if he hits.
It's the torture that's going to kill you afterwards.
So that is, I guess, +3. So that is 6. That's only 11.
Okay. So defense, it says 15, but
Yep. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, he has to get 15 or higher to hit you.
but I probably don't have my shield up.
You would not have, no.
So it would be a 13?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still missed though. But
Okay.
yeah, so he comes in, swings, and you manage to just sort of dodge it. And it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I'm going to club him back then.
Okay.
That would be 11, 12. That's strength?
Yep.
15.
Oh yeah, you got him.
All right. It's just D6, or is it D6?
So your fist, yeah, it's a D6 plus your strength.
Okay. 6.
6 total?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so he took that like a champ. And then he just yells out, "All right, get him." And then everyone else sort of springs up. The first 2 try to just like grab you and hold you in place. So I'll get you to make, you can make either a strength check, a contested strength roll, or you can use dexterity if you want to try to slip away from them as they're trying to grab you.
I think, it'll be more dex. They're both
Okay.
the same. So
And
let's go with that.
if you have acrobatics, you can
No,
use
I
that
don't.
focus. Okay. So so
18.
one of them got, all right, yeah, so you slip out again. Like you're slippery. You're a slippery Orlesian.
Okay.
Which is more of a tongue twister than I thought it was going to be when I.
He has so much perfume on him, he just slips right out.
Yeah, it's the Drakkar Noir just getting in there. It's almost like Mace. But that leaves 4 others that are just gonna like come at you, fists a flying.
Fists of fury, huh?
Fists of fury. Miss. Okay, that's 14, so that'll hit.
Okay.
And that will a second hit. And then finally, so 3 hits, 3 misses.
Okay.
So that is going to be not a lot, but it's going to be something. Okay, so 4, 6, 7. Okay, so that's a total of 8 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say armor rating's not going to apply to this because they're punching you in the face, basically, at this point.
Yeah.
And it's non-lethal, so
Okay.
there's bludgeoning force against you. All right, and then it goes back to Colon, and he sort of like you embarrassed him a second time, so he comes at you again. That time is going to connect pretty solidly. That is that's a 15, and I got 3 stunt points. So Dual Strike and Mighty Blow are his favorite stunts. All right, Mighty Blow.
I knew I should have cut his head off last night. Remember, cut first, ask questions later.
No, don't do that!
All right, so yeah, he is going to, he's just going to use the Mighty Blow. So that is going to be, that's going to be a lot. So that is 11, that is 14 damage.
Okay. Still up.
Your go?
Okay, so it's me against 8 guys.
7.
7. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're...
7, now that's different. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
8
fine.
would be troubling, but 7 is manageable.
7. So I'm going to see if I can. I'm sure I have my shield with me. I grab my shield and like try to jump on the table, jump up and run across the table and just barrel my way towards the door. Because they've all moved. They've all come after me.
Yep.
I don't know what that is. Is that strength or dex or?
I think that would be. So you're looking to like jump up on the table and then run towards the.
Or if it's not the table, just get my shield out and kind of make a beeline for the door.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for that.
Okay.
You bash one of them sort of off to the side.
Okay.
And you make it to the door, but you can't do anything this turn because that would have been your action.
Okay.
Because readying your shield and then sort of bull rushing your way forward. Actually, why don't you roll a D3 plus your strength, and you can do that much non-lethal to the guy that you hit.
Okay. Split in half, so D3 plus 6 damage.
6, okay, that's quite a bit actually. So you actually like knock him down. He wasn't expecting that.
All right.
And then so you get to the door, and then he's going to get up, and the rest of them are going to come after you. So 5 out of the 6 can actually do something this turn.
Okay, but I do have my shield. So
you do have your shield. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's over 15. It's just 15, but it's a hit. Miss. Hit. That's a miss. That's what, 3? Okay. All right. So 4 hits this time. Or sorry, 3 hits this time.
3 hits. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so 3 and 4, so 7, so 10. So that's going to be 13 damage.
Yep, I'm out.
Okay, you're down?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's not minus my armor, so I'm down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's non-lethal. They're going for punching you like in the head area.
Okay.
So, plus it's non-lethal, and you'll get your damage. You'll get your hit points back soon anyway. But yeah, so you make your way to the door. You turn around. You just see these 5 guys coming at you, and everything just goes black. So for the rest of you guys, you make it to the village warden's residence. And yeah, he wants to thank you for using diplomacy to deal with those louts from last night. Hopefully you won't have any more trouble with them. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. Where's Valeria? Is she with us?
Yeah, so I would have waited at the tavern for a little bit. Giving Guillaume time to hang out with the blacksmith, just the 2 of them,
which he did,
bonding time together.
Yeah, they're solid connection.
And then at some point, I would head over there. So I probably wouldn't have gone with them to the.
Okay, so we'll get back to you in a moment then.
Yep.
So he asks if you don't mind my asking, what do you plan to do next?
So he obviously seems friendly to elves.
He's tolerant at least.
Right.
Yeah.
So I believe that you might have had some villagers that not knowingly encountered some darkspawn, and they are trying to blame the elves for this curse.
Wouldn't put it past them. They're good folk, but this whole incident's brought out the worst in them. Yeah,
well, I know that they have problems with elves. Frankly, I get it. The elves have caused a lot of problems in a lot of the cities, stealing food and stuff like that. I get it. It can be a nuisance. But when it comes...
Ashara clears her throat.
I was about to say, when he's saying this, I'm grabbing Ashara's hand and squeezing it. No.
I think there's, again, far more serious things to worry about. If there are the dozens of darkspawn like I've been hearing and seeing evidence of, then I believe that these villagers need to sharpen those pitchforks and turn them towards the woods and not worry about the elves. In fact, they might even want to befriend the elves because numbers are your allies.
I'm sure I can convince them to help defend the town. I don't think now is the time to try to get them to work with the elves. Realistically, I mean, I think you're right. I definitely think that you are correct in that. If
I'm not saying they need to work with them. I'm just saying not waste their energy and possibly lose numbers fighting elves. That is not smart.
Or us, for that matter.
They're not going to fight us. Why would you think that, Honora?
Have you met these people?
Yeah, last night, and they backed down really quick when I pulled my sword out. They're smarter than that. They wouldn't attack us.
So it's just normally, like I said, I wish you had been coming here under better circumstances. You're not seeing everyone at their best. I mean, I know that people are upset with what happened, but it's just almost as if it's bringing out almost an unnatural anger in everyone. I mean, maybe that's the curse. Maybe that's the curse, that the real curse, if there is one. And he looks at the elf and is like, and if there is a real curse, it's not your fault, it's ours. And she just sort of kind of nods her head.
That's a backhanded kind of way of saying that, but okay. I mean, I got you. So where would you advise I start, since you clearly know the town better than I do?
I don't know. And then Ashara's like, well, you can go to where they took me.
And how will that ease tensions, though?
Oh, you looking? I don't know if there's any elves left, but our camp is on the way. And she points to it on the map.
Okay. Well, Nora, what do you think? Do you think we should go to that location or the elves' camp?
Actually, I do have a question for you, Warden.
Mm-hmm.
You said that it seems almost like this anger is unnatural.
Well,
did you notice anything before the elven occurrence? Anyone acting strange or perhaps
no,
more hostile beforehand?
Not really. I mean, Colin's always been a bit of a hothead, but he's always, kept it in check. Usually takes if he has frustrations, he usually takes it out on the metal. I've never seen him this riled up. And again, maybe I'm superstitious too. I mean, maybe it's just something that's always been there. I've never seen it before.
What do you think would cause this sort of behavior in Colin?
I don't know. I mean, again, maybe it's just something that was always there.
Have any strangers come to town recently?
Not that I can recall.
I think we first need to link up with the others. See if they're back at the tavern.
They're probably over at the Blacksmiths at this point. But with that, I mean, so how are you going to keep Ashara safe? What is your plan?
No. She could just stay here with me. I'll make sure that she has, the food. Her wounds are treated. The town, as angry as the people are, they're not going to come after me.
Can I tell if he's trustworthy?
You can make a what did I say? Search check? No, that's not right. Investigation, communication, investigation.
Oh wow, that's bad. 9.
He seems totally trustworthy.
Okay, I trust him. I think that will be good. So when we come back into town, we'll come straight here, though.
Fair enough.
Okay. Can I take Ashara to the side with me and speak to her privately-ish?
Yeah, well, while they were sort of talking, you can definitely do that.
Now, Ashara, don't tell anyone what I did to you, okay?
Sorry?
Don't tell anyone about what I did to you with the making you feel better thing.
Oh, no, trust me. I would never. Now, amongst my people, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But I understand. It's a human thing.
They're idiots, but they're rightfully idiots.
No, you saved my life. I would never do anything to get you in trouble.
If there's anything that you need, you let me know first, okay?
I will. Thank you.
And I will give her a hug and send her on way.
Okay. She accepts you. She accepts your hug. She's a little awkward about it because elves may not, do that quite the same way.
That is fine.
But she kind of likes it. Settles into it.
And with that, I will say thank you, Warden Tarldale. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, good luck. Good hunting.
When we step out, do we see Valeria? Is Valeria already walking towards the blacksmiths, or?
So you see, so he's not too far. His residence isn't too far from the tavern. Mm-hmm. So you actually see a bit of a crowd kind of gathered outside of the tavern. So Valeria, when you were making your way, when you decided, well, I think, Guillaume's had enough, buddy time with the blacksmith, and I'm sure they're having a good old time, telling jokes and all this stuff. And maybe I should go over and see what's happening. You open the door to the inn and you see Guillaume's battered, unconscious body just like dropped at the inn's doorstep.
Is anybody else there with him?
So there's like some onlookers, but nobody there is they're not looking like a job well done sort of thing.
I'll try to as casually as you can pick up somebody's lifeless body off the ground. I'll try and pick him up and sling his arm around my shoulder and try and walk him inside and upstairs.
So Guillaume, would you consider yourself to be kind of a big guy, in terms of your build?
I think in the beginning we said he was a smaller, more dex style.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like to brag about his size, but he's decent. I know from
compared
personal
to me, he's a
experience.
small guy.
That is true.
And you're muted. Just yeah.
No, he's supposed to be muted. He's talking to his
He's unconscious. He's role
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't meta.
No, I would not envision him being
okay,
heavy set or.
Well, not heavy set, but built.
Husky.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I also have armor, unless they took all that stuff from me.
No. You everything that you had with you is still on you.
Okay.
So they I think they just wanted to send a message more than anything else.
Okay.
So Valeria, you managed to pick him up as you do, just sort of jostling him. Guillaume, you sort of regain consciousness, and half of that damage is now gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
We round up or down?
Let's round up, I guess.
Okay.
What happened to you?
There was a hit in the face repeatedly.
Well, I suggest you do a better job of avoiding that in the future.
There was 20 of them and one of me.
Oui.
Wow. I mean, maybe you're not as sly as you thought you were.
No.
Victim blaming.
Just remember, Draven's an old school gamer. Never split the party. Lesson learned.
It is an important lesson.
I am.
Life's in rogue.
We need to get my rebuttal together.
What kind of rebuttal do you have in
Do you have
mind?
any flasks of oil?
Oh, this sounds like fun. But I don't. I could, though. You could probably find some.
You don't even have to flirt with her when you say flasks of oil.
Flasks of oil is the flirting.
The flirt word.
It's auto success.
Yeah.
It's an automatic crit.
Yeah, max roll, 6 stun points.
So
It's
I've got all these bruises on my face. My eye, like one eye is closed. I just put my mask back on.
Yeah, you think you might be missing a tooth as well.
Is this his favorite tooth or one of the less favorite teeth?
It would probably be his favorite tooth. I mean, these guys are just savages.
He looks like Logan Paul got into a fight with Mike Tyson.
If they actually fought.
Right.
Didn't Floyd Mayweather mop the floor with him? I didn't actually see
He knocked him out, but then held him up so that the fight would keep going. But yeah, back to the game.
Do you need me to go find some oil?
Get with the others first.
Well, are you at least going to tell me the plan before they show up?
Does he have to? He said flasks of oil.
Oh, we will burn the blacksmith's shop down, preferably with him inside and his goons.
What was his shop made of? I guess I envision that he's a blacksmith. It's probably not,
Well, he has a forge inside of the
flammable.
Well, he does have furniture.
It's probably a wooden frame. I mean, it would probably burn some to the ground.
The roof can't be made of stone because then it would collapse in on itself unless he uses archways, but that would be incredibly expensive to do.
I don't know. Maybe he has like an open
keystone bricks
section or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like the courtyard or something.
Just send me in there with my quill and we can start playing Pump Up the Kicks as I ignite him on fire.
I'm not a medieval architect or anything.
I am, thankfully, to some
I
degree
thought you
at
were,
least.
Paula. I could have swore that was your day job. Medieval architect.
That'd be an awesome day job, in all honesty.
Probably
I love
would
that
be.
job.
Any kind of architect is an awesome job.
All right, so I would say, Ventiver, it's being like a wine-rich part of the region. Most of the buildings here are like stone or wood. So the smithy would be like a stone building, but the roof would be like a wooden, like shingled roof.
Okay. You want me to go buy some oil?
And the ceiling separating the first and second floor was definitely made of wood.
Yes, oui.
Oui, mademoiselle.
So we see
while
Guillaume being carried by her, or picked up?
You see a crowd, and you see Valeria sort of pick up Guillaume, who you're kind of looking from behind, so you can't quite tell what's going on. I mean, maybe you just had too much to drink.
Do we see any blood?
Not from the angle that you're at, no.
Okay. Honora, it looks like Guillaume may have fallen on his face or something out here. Why is she carrying him? That's weird.
Maybe he got drunk with his friends beforehand.
He was just left like 30 minutes ago. How drunk can you get in 30 minutes?
Sounds like a challenge.
Looks at my 5'7" thin frame. Quite.
Lightweights.
I mean, look, ever since I became a parent, I can't handle as much as I used to.
Yeah, no, mine hasn't changed. My tolerance no. Paula's has, but mine hasn't.
I have no alcohol tolerance.
In fact, I feel like mine's the opposite. Like, I feel like I can drink more than I used to be able to. Without feeling it.
Well, we should see what happened, why he's busy drinking in the morning, and how they plan to retaliate against us.
Yeah. Let's go see what happened. I kind of pushed through the crowd a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So you make it into the tavern as you hear the phrase, burn the smithy down.
Guillaume,
what?
I gotta say that a lot quieter.
Yeah, and his face looks like hamburger.
Ooh.
Guillaume, what happened to you?
That stupid
beat up by
blacksmith.
goons. There's 25 of them.
It's getting bigger.
25? My God,
Wow.
that's the
So
Warden
basically
at
all the
once.
guys from last night.
Don't
have to
worry,
learn.
though. We have a plan.
I would certainly
I
say
heard
so.
it. I heard
This
the
vil-
plan. A typical
This vil-
Guillaume plan.
You like it, don't you?
Not really. I'm supposed to keep the peace, and that kind of could get me.
I
in
think we
trouble.
can do better ways of keeping the peace, though. I would recommend immediately to the village warden that he decimates his population. 1 in 10 be wiped out by the other 9/10 immediately beaten to death with sticks. That'll send a clear message to everyone here that no one is to be harmed.
Well, I mean,
Valeria's gonna look over at Guillaume and just say, "They're never any fun."
I don't know, I think wiping out 1/10 of the population of the village could be fun.
I think we should just go over there and show him how a free man can handle this. And not right now. Let's wait till tonight, when he's most likely in there by himself. And I think we should all show up and pay him a visit.
We should get all of them if possible.
I would like to go for the head honcho, the guy who was clearly leading it, and that's the blacksmith. We need to assert dominance, show him who's boss, and shut him up.
Permanently.
If we have to. I'm not
Leave him
going to stop.
crucified outside of his own place of business, attached to a pole nailed to it.
You know, I think there's some Templars in the Chantry. You might want to
Avoid.
have a talk about that. We talk with them.
We could report him to the Chantry for beating up a guest in this town, and a guest of Logain, I should say.
I was going to say a guest of someone who was sent here by the...
By the Terran?
Yes, by Tyrann
Yes.
Lohane.
Yes.
I'll wait here while you go there.
Oh, that's not a problem.
Okay, you're gonna go back to the. You're gonna go to the Chantry or to the Warden?
I would go to the Chantry and let them know, the Templars there, know that a guest in this town was attacked by the blacksmith, and the blacksmith must be taken care of. His freedom should be restricted if possible for some time.
You must have us confused with Simple Watch.
Well, what are you watching if not handling that? I'm a knight of Terran Logain. We were sent here, and my comrade was attacked by the blacksmith and his goons. We need to keep the peace, and it's only going to get more out of control, especially as Darkspawn come into town.
Did you tell the village warden? That's usually his domain.
We were just talking to him.
And he decided to do nothing about this?
What is he going to do by himself?
Oh,
Who's the muscle around here, typically?
Well, I mean, the warden, like out of character, the warden is a pretty jacked guy.
Oh, okay. I didn't pick.
Yeah,
I picked up that
he's like
an old guy.
No, he's still pretty fit for a guy his age.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll just say, never mind. I'll handle it myself.
Well, I was going to go ahead and talk to the village leader of this...
unless you
Now, if we do anything
suspect
to
that
this guy,
maybe the village warden is a mage, an apostate, but it's not really our job to police the town. Our job is to deal with matters of the church, of the
Less
law.
useful. Yes, I got you. And I walk away, seemingly upset that he won't do anything.
I think we can take care of this ourselves, don't you think?
When I get back, I tell them what happened, and she says that. We will take care of this ourselves at this point.
But let the warden know and let him take care of it.
I tried to ask, some of the other people around here who could help. The warden is a little busy right now, so I'm not going to involve him.
What's he busy with?
Oh, I don't know. Keeping somebody safe?
Yes, but we're assuming that he doesn't have any watch he can call on, or militia he can call on, or anyone else.
They called me in here. And us. That's why we're here. They don't
To help
have
investigate.
They don't
It's
have
like
good town guards. They don't have good town guards here.
the guards can probably go ahead and do their own duty. We were brought in here to investigate a crisis that goes far beyond what normal guards can handle and basic investigators.
Draven, would there be town guards around here?
He probably has a couple of people that he deputizes in situations.
Yeah, the militia.
But as far as an actual like patrol or guard or something
Nothing
like that.
that would be helpful.
Not really, no. Normally, he would just handle matters himself.
Okay, so, well, what do we want to do? Do we want to handle the blacksmith, or do we want to go and actually investigate this and get to the bottom of everything? What is our first order of business? Like, we can go and handle things with Guillaume's broken face. I mean, he was always ugly anyways. Now he's just more ugly.
Well, the question becomes, how many people did the blacksmith under his command, Guillaume? You said 25, correct?
Yeah, at least.
So that would then beg the question, would those people have more loyalty towards the blacksmith or towards the village warden? Because the blacksmith could be a permanent problem if he has more influence than the warden does, and he brings his people to deal with the elf himself at the warden's place.
I
Could be
mean,
looking at
they got
civil war
pitched
here.
Come on.
I'm not worried.
You don't
about
think
that.
a guy like that's gonna, be completely embarrassed that he was taken out by such a small group of people?
A guy
You sound like
Michael.
you want to
You
handle
think-
him.
Do you think? I mean,
You gonna go
Just
punch him in the
saying.
mouth?
seems like somebody needs to do it.
Well, if you're
Don't you
going to
think?
do it, you have to end him permanently.
I mean, we
Otherwise, he can
can't.
have
We can't let him
retaliatory
beat
strikes.
up our friends.
That should go to the warden then, and it should be handled at a local level.
Yeah, they were so effective at their job.
He didn't know about us arriving in town. The question is, if we go ahead and tell him, then he can go ahead and deputize us to deal
If
with the
he thought
blacksmith,
he
so
could
it's
handle it,
perfectly
he
legal.
wouldn't have sent to Logain to get us out here to help ease
No,
tensions.
I'm not talking about the investigation and the tensions. That we're going to have to handle ourselves. What I'm saying is dealing with the blacksmith. If he then legally
The blacksmith is
deputizes
the
us,
leader of the whole issue, though. That's my point. He is the one who is raising tensions. I mean,
Blacksmith is
we are
part of
clearly
the
here to handle that.
tensions. The blacksmith is a major part of the tensions. However, the tensions were caused by something else. And we
Well,
have
I
to
heard
figure out what that
something
is.
about going and buying some oil, I think. So you guys talk about this for a little bit while I go do that.
Okay,
All I'm saying is we inform the village warden about what happened and then have him deputize us to deal with the situation of the blacksmith. That way, if anything happens, the blacksmith can stand trial for his actions, therefore making it legal and therefore stopping any...
I am the
future
law. I'm
retaliation.
from the Terran Logain, the king's commander. Like, we
We
are
have to
the
do what
law.
Yes, but we're also strangers here. The people will accept us a great deal more if we go in with the blessings of the town warden and with written permission from the town warden to deal with it.
And fire.
And fire.
This will be terrible if they find out that we burned down the blacksmith.
I'm
just
saying we walk 15 minutes
Well,
to
they're
the
not
town
gonna
warden.
Find
Not
out.
even. It's just a couple buildings down.
We lose nothing by telling him about this and getting permission to do something about it.
We just left there. Don't you think that looks silly?
No, it won't. It's a few buildings down.
Fine. I bring
about
Guillaume.
people as-
I bring Guillaume. I put my hand on his back and I push him along. I said, he needs to see your face.
Yeah,
So
we can't
apparently
stand
Honora
we can't
needs
stand
him
bullies
to
like
see
this.
it.
So you grab and start shoving. It's like, let's go.
Oh yeah, we definitely have that kind of relationship.
I'm not going to put up with this type of
Valeria?
abuse. Get going, Guillaume. Come on.
Valeria's gonna go buy some oil while they handle
It wasn't
this
like
business.
that. That's not how I imagined it. I'm not abusive.
Come on, Guillaume. Let's go. And you just lift him up by the shirt collar and start.
He asked about his collar.
You're like a school teacher. I'm against bullying here, son.
Honora seems to think we'll be deputized. I don't care about being deputized. I'm above that, but maybe we can get you guys deputized.
Our goal is to avoid inflaming the situation any worse than it already is. This will prevent it from getting inflamed, and this will also get people to our side, as opposed to viewing us as some outlanders who are abusing our power.
Whatever you say, Honora. Whatever you say.
All right. So what's Valeria doing in the meantime?
Buying oil.
Valeria is going to just kind of like a local shop, like a
Mhm.
regular supply store, and she is going to buy some oil. I assume a couple flasks of oil, maybe like 3. Just a few,
Okay.
just in case. We might need them.
Well, you might. Oil, pint. So it's 8 coppers per pint of oil.
Okay. Well, let's get 4.
So the shopkeeper's like, that's a lot of oil.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure. You definitely don't want to be out on the road and run out, right?
Oh, no, I suppose that's true. I've never really left Vintiver, so I don't know what it's like to be much of a adventurer, traveler.
Yeah, I heard something about some creatures out in the woods in these parts, so we're gonna go take a look, and definitely don't want to be lost in the dark, you know?
That's smart. That's smart. I understand. Well, here you go. And they, they take the money and pass over the goods. It's like, best of luck to you. You be careful out there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be back soon. I don't think it'll take us that long.
Well, it's good to hear. May the Maker watch over you. Because you are doing his work. Her work. His work?
His.
Andros, his. Andraste's the prophet, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same to you.
Okay.
All right.
Anything?
So we get. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, anything else, or are you just going back to the tavern?
No, I'll actually kind of just. I'm gonna watch the street out in front of the blacksmiths.
Okay.
Just to keep an eye on things.
Okay.
But really subtly. I'm not just gonna stand in the middle of the street staring at his shop.
I show up and knock on his door. I brought the oil.
All right. So why don't you make a stealth check? You're trying not to look obvious.
Yeah, I'm just it's like scouting it out, but in the city.
Sure.
Right?
So she
Speaking
bought
of
oil
which,
from the city. We're gonna burn the blacksmith down, and I'm sure there's tons of suspects who would do that.
Speaking of which, this might be an opportune time to let you know that if I fail a stealth roll, I do get to re-roll.
That's fine. Yeah.
I did roll
Pretty
doubles. However, that is a total of 11.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that. That's just basically setting the target number if anyone were to try to spot you.
Okay.
All right. So you kind of just watch the shop for a little bit. The door's closed. And you even see like the windows are shuttered. After about 4 or 5 minutes or so, you see one of the villagers coming. They have what looks like some sort of tool that's broken, and they go to like open up the door. Nothing happens. They knock, and no answer.
Is there a back entrance?
You can have a look around if you wish.
Yeah, I'd like to see if maybe there's a back entrance or exit, in which maybe some other people are coming in and out of.
Okay. There is a back door, yes.
I'll keep an eye on that area and see if maybe there's anyone entering or exiting the building.
Okay. How long do you want to wait for?
I don't know. 10 minutes.
Okay.
All these fools are trying to do whatever it is that they think they're going to do. I might even kind of walk past and see if I can hear anything, but then continue on.
Okay. So 10 minutes goes by. Don't see anything. Nobody going in or out. You don't hear any sounds coming from the smithy either. No smoke coming out of the chimney where the forge is.
So if I were to sneak up to this back door,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see if it's locked.
It is.
Ooh. I don't think I can pick locks.
Lockpick. Well,
I
you
can.
may not have the focus. You may not have the focus, but you can still try.
I have a lock pick.
Mm-hmm. That is a dexterity lockpicking check. If you have the focus, you get +2.
Are there a lot of people in this area in the back?
Around the back, no.
Okay. $13.
Yeah, you picked the lock.
Another player's gonna get their face beat in.
I'm gonna open the door quietly and slowly and kind of poke my head in and see if I can see anybody in there, or hear anything.
All right, so we will see what happens next time.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it. I just knew. All right. Thank you guys for watching again. We will be doing a Dragon Age giveaway, a bundle of things, and you just have to watch the campaign. Tell us about your favorite moment from each individual episode on that thumbnail on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and that'll enter you in to win that. You can also draw a wonderful character art if you want to, and that'll end up getting you 2 entries. So with that, and that was an idea from, I don't know, someone last time. But with that, go check out everybody. The links are in the description, and we will see you guys next time. Game on.